Before we begin, if you haven't yet subscribed, liked, shared, and commented, do it now, because today's story will hold your heart from the first line to the very last moment. The day Adrian Cole returned home, he thought it would be the happiest day of his year. A billionaire investor, polished suits, shining cars, a man who had everything except one thing: time for the woman he loved most. But that day, he was ready to change everything. He carried a small gift box in his hand, a surprise for his wife Elena's birthday. A simple necklace she had once admired in a shop window. He wanted to make up for months of absence, months of late-night work calls, months she spent waiting for him. But fate had prepared a different surprise for him, one that would break him open, reshape him, and shake the entire city. When he stepped into the front yard, he noticed the front door slightly open. Not wide, just enough to whisper that something was wrong. The house was silent, too silent for a home that always smelled of cinnamon candles and Elena's soft humming. "Elena," he called, his voice echoing across the marble floor. No answer. Only silence thickening like fog. A cold shiver ran along his spine. Nothing seemed disturbed, no signs of forced entry, yet something in the air felt painfully wrong. He walked room after room, calling her name again and again until his voice trembled. Then he noticed something outside, something small, something strange. A thin stray dog barking into the distance, as if calling for help. At first Adrian ignored it. But the barking grew louder, sharper, almost desperate. And his heartbeat began to pound. He followed. The dog ran ahead, pausing every few steps to look back at Adrian, as if urging him to come faster. And when the alley finally opened before him, sunlight pouring down like a spotlight, he saw her. Elena. Lying on the cold ground. Her white dress torn. Her hands bruised. Her long wavy brown hair tangled with dust. Her breath shallow. Her face pale like a dying candle flame. The gift box in Adrian's hand slipped and shattered on the pavement. For a moment, he couldn't breathe. He knelt. "Elena, what happened? Who did this to you?" His voice cracked as he touched her cold cheek. She opened her eyes only halfway, her voice a broken whisper. "I didn't leave you, someone forced me out. They knew you weren't home. They didn't want me near you." She coughed, tears mixing with dirt. "They said, you would be destroyed if I spoke." Adrian froze. Destroyed? Why? Who? The dog whined beside them, nudging Elena's hand as if trying to comfort her. And Adrian understood. Something bigger, far darker, was happening. He lifted Elena into his arms, holding her as if she might vanish if he loosened his grip. The dog followed him all the way to his car, refusing to leave her side. Adrian opened the back door and let the dog jump in. Whatever this animal was, it had saved Elena. And whoever had done this to her, would pay. He drove with shaking hands, whispering to Elena, begging her to stay awake. The sunlight outside was bright, but inside the car everything felt cold. Too cold. At the hospital, doctors rushed her inside. Adrian waited outside the emergency room, his hands trembling, his heart breaking, replaying every moment he wasn't there for her. Hours passed. Finally, the doctor approached him. "She's stable," he said. "But she's been under emotional stress for a long time. She needs protection, and she needs you." For the first time in years, Adrian felt powerless. But that powerlessness didn't last. Because when Elena woke up and told him the rest, everything changed. She told him how people within his own company had come to the house. How they threatened her. How they forced her out so she wouldn't warn Adrian. How they were planning to use her, trap her, and ultimately destroy him through her. She had refused. So they abandoned her in that alley. And all this, so they could steal Adrian's biggest deal, one worth billions. Adrian's hands tightened into fists. Money he could lose. Reputation he could rebuild. But his wife? Never. Adrian looked at Elena, at the stray dog sitting beside her like a loyal guardian, and made a silent promise. He would burn down anyone who touched her. But not with rage. With strategy. With truth. With justice. And so began the chapter that would shake the entire city. He gathered evidence. He talked to lawyers. He talked to old allies. He dug through the company files. He used every ounce of his intelligence, every connection, every resource, to expose the people who had tried to destroy his family. Then came the day of the press conference. Adrian stood tall, sleeves rolled up, the stray dog, now named Ranger, sitting proud at his feet. Cameras flashed, reporters shouted questions. Elena stood by him stronger than ever, holding his arm with quiet dignity. And with the whole city watching, Adrian exposed everything. Names. Faces. Evidence. Lies. Crimes. The city erupted. The corrupt men who once acted untouchable were arrested. Headlines blasted across screens. Protests filled the streets. People demanded justice not just for Adrian, but for Elena, for every silent victim like her. By the time the trial ended, the city viewed Adrian and Elena as symbols of hope, proof that love and bravery could defeat even the darkest lies. And then came the moment that melted hearts across the news and social media. Adrian and Elena opening their new foundation. Ranger Hope Shelter. A place for abused animals. A place for abandoned women. A place for those who had no place to go. Elena cut the ribbon with Ranger sitting proudly beside her, wearing a new blue collar. Adrian stood next to them, smiling in a way he hadn't smiled in years, like a man who had finally come home. The city didn't just watch. It changed. And the message Adrian left them with shook every heart. Sometimes life breaks you not to destroy you, but to help you rise in a way that inspires the world. If you felt something today, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment. Your support helps more people hear stories that touch the heart.